All right, Hal, talk to me about how significant this difference would be, this $1.4 trillion less that the University of Pennsylvania finds Warren's wealth tax would actually garner than what Warren claims.
Honestly, I don't know how significant it is because the whole plan is so idiotic, it makes no sense at all. First of all, her plan, she even says, is at least $20 trillion. A lot of people are saying it's $34 trillion for Medicare for all. So we're talking about 10% of what she's trying to do anyway. But the whole math doesn't work from the beginning. And let's just kind of go through this pretty quickly so I can, for the viewers, because think about it this way. She's saying, oh, it's pennies on the dollar. It's not. Let's say someone's worth $6 billion. Let's just hypothetically say they're worth that. It's in the stock of a company that they founded, and it happens to be publicly traded, which is the only way this would work anyway. So they're going to have to pay on that money, just start with the $5 billion above the billion is 6%. They're going to pay $300 million in wealth tax. But to do that, they're going to have to sell stock to raise the $300 million. Assuming they have mostly capital gains inside that, and she's going to raise the capital gains tax back up to the 39.6. Then you're going to add the 3.8% tax on the investment side of it. You're going to add another 14.8% that she wants to add for anything investment income over $400,000. Then you add the California, if you're in California, you add another tax onto that of 13.8. You're at 70% cap gains tax. So you sell $1 billion, you pay $700 million in cap gains tax, you pay $300 million in wealth tax, you have zero left. How long till you think they run out of money? You're looking at 5 years, you're going to sell 60 to 70% of the company.
I love this math. This is why we have you on the show. It makes zero sense. Elizabeth Warren, by the way, I want you to respond to this too. Elizabeth Warren claims that this analysis of her wealth tax was not done correctly. She says they didn't actually analyze my wealth tax. Take a listen to her saying this.
Senator, what do you make of the University of Pennsylvania report out this morning on your wealth tax, on the estimates? They say yours are way too high.
Right. Well, they didn't actually analyze my wealth tax. They changed provisions and then analyzed something else.
All right, Hal, is that true? Did they change provisions, or is this accurate?
No, they didn't change any provisions. I mean, her economists and she's not in the real world. She's an academic. Did they even look at the capital gains impact of what you'd have to do to raise the money for the wealth tax? And by the way, what if you don't have something that's liquid? What if you're in real estate that's not liquid? What if you're in a private company that's not liquid? How do you pay this tax? You can't even sell assets. What if you have loans against this to borrow? You have to pay off the loans. You don't even have the money to pay the loans off because you're paying a tax. None of it makes any sense at all. It's not real world. In fact, Europe gave up on it. France already quit the wealth tax. Last year they quit it because so many millionaires had fled the country. You had in 1990, you had about a dozen European countries trying this. I think there's 3 left. It doesn't work, and yet we're trying to go back to that. Look, the real world is this. People will avoid taxes if they can, and people will not commit to provide, financing for businesses if they look out and see all it's going to do is be taxed away. They're not going to risk capital to do it. Think of all the jobs that'll be lost just to sell businesses to pay taxes. What do you think happens to employees when that happens? I mean, the whole thing is complete and total fantasy.